Hello everyone, welcome back. Here is qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix for the sprint race. It is 12, 10 and 8 minute sessions for Q1, 2 and 3, SQ1, SQ2 and SQ3. Currently got 8 minutes on the clock and we've got a couple lap times on the board. Ocon setting the fastest time right now over Leclerc. Leclerc, Ferrari, or both Ferraris, Carlos Sainz looking to try and be the quicker cars out of the lot. They are forced to use different compounds of tyres, I believe, Tom. I think they have to all use the medium tyre in this qualifying session. Who will get on top?
Practice session on the medium tire, but should definitely have the pace to get through. But I expect the Mercedes of Russell or maybe Norris for Verstappen to be on top of SQ1. And then we have to see how SQ2 also on mediums and SQ3 on the soft tire will work out in the end.
SQ3 will be absolutely rapid when we get to that final bit of rubber. That will be awesome to watch as the cars go as fast as they possibly can with the limited practice they have had. And it's going to be Lando Norris taking provisional pole, but Oscar Piastri currently looking like he's going a little bit quicker. We have had a purple middle sector from Liam Lawson, who seems to be going pretty impressively as well. But Piastri will be going over that line very shortly to try and maybe go faster, but actually Verstappen has gone and improved over Piastri, so it's all mixing up at the moment. In the early stages we will probably be able to get a few cars getting some second runs in, but you don't really want to be getting second runs in this session too much, especially for the top teams. But Ferrari, they'll definitely have to go once again, and it is going to be absolutely mental. Max Verstappen currently looking quickest at the moment, and he is taking advantage to the fullest of this situation. He's got the grid place penalty, the 5 places that they will be knocked down for the Grand Prix qualifying, but they will not be effective for the sprint race. The final few corners, what will it be? It's not purple in the middle sector, but the final sector, and it is going to be P4 in the end. And Liam Lawson has absolutely flown there with that fast middle sector. Absolutely incredible stuff. Hulkenberg also up there.
Yeah, really nice for Lawson to be so far ahead, also compared to Tsunoda. So that is a lot of a case for him to replace Paris for the future. And then looking at Haas, Berman dominated Hülkenberg, I would say, in the first on the own practice session, and now Hülkenberg is 7/10 ahead of Berman. Maybe because he has just more experience with the car. Maybe he's just got a clean run compared to Berman. Maybe Berman had some traffic. But quite a difference between them compared to the practice session.
The ability to just jump into a car and drive it fast, that's what the experience will be gaining Nico Hulkenberg, and he's definitely proving it. Doing well here in the past, at least before there's been an incident or two, almost looking like they were going to maybe win the Brazilian Grand Prix. I think, was it back in 2012 or 2010? I can't quite remember, I always mix it up. Anyway, looking at the grid, Piastri is in a comfortable position. If there was something to happen, they would be currently taking that top spot in SQ1. We've got Leclerc and Carlos Sainz improving once again. That's Charles Leclerc to P2. Where will Carlos Sainz end up here? Verstappen, I believe, is on an in lap right here. So here we go. Carlos Sainz, I should say, is going to be improving, and up to the line, it will be a P4. Not bad, but not exactly the top spots that they're probably looking for. Still, 2.5 tenths away from Oscar Piastri, and we don't really have that much time left in the session, so I think that's going to be it for Ferrari. They're going to be hoping that that's enough. Maybe other cars could make mistakes in the rush. We'll see. We've got a few cars still in the pit lane waiting for that last moment to go out and get the job done, but as I said, Tom, earlier on, traffic around this circuit in qualifying is going to be absolutely crazy. Do you think we're going to get a few people not able to set a final lap in this session?
Yeah, probably. Especially with the rule of how long you have to, or how much time you have for your outlap. We will probably see some cars stacking up in the pit lane, and then they maybe have to push more than they wanted for the outlap just to get over the line. And I reckon we could see at least one driver who won't get over the line if the drivers aren't starting from now on to go all out, which seems like now.
Yeah, all on their way out now, going fairly slowly out the pit lane, as you said. It's pretty funny to watch that happen. They're just going so slowly out the pit lane right now. They really wanted to try and eke it out, but everybody is queuing up. That's actually very impressive. Where Verstappen's out on track. If he wasn't out on track, he would be overtaking everyone right now in the pit lane. There's no doubt about it. He would be passing left, right and centre. It is a bit of a wide pit exit as a pit lane entry as well. That is an incredibly dark cloud right now over the circuit. I don't think it will affect us here. It will affect us tomorrow possibly, and definitely on the race we could see some rain, whether it will be a full wet race or just dabs here and there. Dabs here and there for the wet weather race would be absolutely incredible because everyone would be in the mix. Now, the Ferraris are going for cooldown laps and then they're going to go again. So that's an interesting one to look at. We've got Verstappen going purple in the first sector. So this is going to be looking pretty good for Verstappen despite seeming to be the underdog in this race. And now we've got George Russell also starting a lap. They're on an improvement sector. We've got Lewis Hamilton making it work. Everybody's going to start to cross the line. We've got Sergio Perez going for one final run as well, currently sitting in P11. They need to find a bit more time here. Hamilton goes over the sector line, improves a little bit ahead of their teammate as well, but Verstappen still has that top sector in the first sector, looking pretty impressive right there as they're through the middle part and up to the line is Max Verstappen. That's going to put them P2 and 1.5 tenths behind Oscar Piastri. Then we're going to have Russell and Leclerc completing their laps. I say Leclerc starting another lap, Russell into P5, and Leclerc's going to get a very distant toe. That's going to help him there into the first corner. That's brilliant stuff right there for him. Hamilton, Perez, Tsunoda all improving. No one's safe at the moment.
Yeah, it's really close, as you would expect from Brazil. Really short circuits, so quite some margins just between your in or your out, and I expect many people getting some improvements. I don't know if the Ferraris will improve again, but they should be safe. But cars like Ocon, Tsunoda, Gasly, Berman, they all have a chance to improve, and then it just will be a few tenths or even hundreds to determine who will be in SQ2 or who will be out already in SQ1.
Perez getting an absolutely awesome middle sector, a pretty good first sector as well, putting themselves right up there just ahead of their teammate. Leclerc is in P4. They're improving again. Hulkenberg is not improving. Looking in the drop zone, we've got Alonso, we've got Bottas, we've got Stroll, we've got Zhou, and we've got Colapinto at the very back of the pack. Who's going to be able to get out? I don't know. Alonso crosses the line to finish their qualifying session. So will Zhou Guanyu, but Zhou Guanyu is starting a final lap, but they're not going to get another one in. Alonso is going to be in the session right now. Ocon is looking to be knocked out by his teammate. If his teammate can do enough, Stroll knocks out both Alpines for now. Behrman, what are they going to do? They're going to make themselves a little bit safer by quite a nice margin as well. 0.5 tenth ahead of their teammate. Gasly gets themselves into SQ2. Stroll will not be able to improve. Zhou will not be either. Esteban Ocon is coming across the line. What's it going to be for the other Alpine? They knock out Yuki Tsunoda, and Yuki Tsunoda is not going quickly. That is going to possibly be Yuki Tsunoda out. Alex Albon down there, as that was Bottas improving once again, almost going to, or might find its way into Q2. Lando Norris goes and sets the fastest lap time of all. Yuki Tsunoda, I don't think it's going to be enough. They're not improving at all. Will we see Colapinto into Q2? We will. That is a brilliant job. And Alonso finds himself knocked out anyway. That is a disaster there for Aston Martin.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I was talking about in the practice session, the Aston Martins have to step up their game to compete with the Haas drivers, who might have an actual chance to get the Constructors' Championship, or being at least in front of Aston Martin, as they are looking quite fast around Brazil right now, with being really close to the Ferrari, to the Red Bull, maybe getting a P6 or P7 in a crazy race, and then the gap of around 40 points will close down rapidly.
Indeed. It's not ideal. Obviously, they have a slight advantage that they've got an irregular driver in the other team. I'm saying Aston have an advantage because they've got Behrman, who's not so used to everything, not as experienced, so maybe would lose out on points. But at the same time, he's absolutely mega quick and has just outqualified, at least in only SQ1, but outqualified his teammates, so he's done a phenomenal job. Looking at Lando Norris, 7 tenths ahead of Oscar Piastri, and looking at Alex Albon, he is absolutely flown right there to P3. He is 8 tenths behind Lando Norris, but 1 tenth behind Oscar Piastri, and actually, if you look at the gap between everyone pretty much within the current zone into SQ2, that is a very small margin and an incredibly tight grid that we've got. We've got a gap 0.004 seconds between Perez and Leclerc, but also a little bit further down between Colapinto and Hulkenberg, and almost just as close between Gasly and Hamilton. There is a big gap between Bottas and Gasly, so that's where the kind of gap is a bit bigger. It's exactly what we saw last week, Tom. Everybody in this second part of qualifying are going to be absolutely mental, and it's just no one's going to be safe here.
Yeah, definitely. A top driver, if he can set a lap time just as Norris did, will be likely to be safe. But everybody who has a slight mistake could already be out, as the grid is so close today.
Indeed, it's absolutely mental stuff. We actually had, so the reason why Colapinto was at the back was because he had a track limit violation during his lap, and that was deleted. We have Lewis Hamilton, who had a massive moment there in the middle sector as they went down through turn 9, and that could have almost knocked them out of SQ1, but they managed to do enough later on in the lap, or earlier on in the lap as well, to keep it all together. A lot of performance problems for the Aston Martins. That is Lance Stroll actually losing out big time on some severe understeer that they've got. We're not even in wet conditions, and it looks like they're driving a boat. That's not very ideal for their situation. The team that's going to have Adrian Newey working for them next year. They've got a lot of work to do. They've got the guy to get the job done, but it's still going to be a long time coming, and I don't know what Aston Martin are looking at, but they've gone from such a high in the beginning of 2023 and now towards the end of 2024. They're one of the back markers right now, which is a bit of a surprise, I'll be honest, but at the same time, we always knew that they would kind of be at that risk.
Yeah, definitely a team just can be on top or out at the bottom really fast if it hasn't got the best engineer team, the best designer. With the current Formula 1 being so close, just a slight miss in an update you bring to your car might lose you 2 tenths compared to another team that made a better upgrade. And so you're just so quick going from being the 3rd or 4th fastest car as Aston Martin was a few years ago to now being one of the back markers. And on the contrary, you've got Haas, who was last season as a constructor, and now looking to get the I think 6th place. So that just sees how different a season can go just with a few updates your engineers could make.
Indeed, it can go any direction. You just got to try and make sure you are going upwards. Looking at sprint shootout last year, the whole time in the end in SQ3 was a 10.622. It was an 11.82 for... No, maybe not. I'm not going to even bother looking at that. A 10.622 for pole position from Lando Norris, ahead of Max Verstappen, who did a 10.683. That is an incredibly small margin in itself. Will we see that be beaten? I'm pretty sure we will, because the... I think we've already beaten it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very, very quick at the moment. We've absolutely smashed last year's times. And looking at also practice 1, we were on the 10.610, so we've beaten practice already as well. We are going very, very quickly, so all the data that I've looked at right now, may as well just get it off my screen. I'm not going to, because I still want to see the results from last year. Norris looking to try and get a second pole position here. In sprint qualifying around São Paulo. We've got Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez P2, P3 last time around, and then George Russell P4, who really loves the circuit. So does Lewis Hamilton, who was then P5. And now we get the session once again underway. The 10-minute session this time. It's going to be even more intense than before, and everybody has got a very limited amount of time to get this lap done. Russell is out first, then Bottas, then we have Gasly. Bottas doing a great job to get their way into the order, and that's going to be vital for Nico Hülkenberg especially, and Audi in the future. Just getting extra time in qualifying sessions will be a brilliant performance. But we'll see who can top the times here, who's going to be knocked out. I think we're going to get a few surprises, although Sergio Perez set an absolutely mega time there in qualifying. It was nothing compared to what Lando Norris did, and he's got to still work very hard. He's not safe just yet.
Yeah, definitely. At least a good qualifying lap for him. So it's a bit of a confident boost. But as you said, it's just so close, tiny mistake, and Perez could be from going so far out the top with his lap time to suddenly being knocked out, and everybody is talking trash about him again and wanting him to be knocked out, and that's just how the Formula One works. Good luck, you're on the top, being really happy, all the fans like you. One small mistake, you're down, and you're the problem of your team. And I just hope for him, especially because I'm a big fan of him as a driver. I hope we could see him next season again. So I just wish him the best he could get, and I want him to get as good as a lap he did in the first shootout, also now again, and maybe even better, and then getting close to the top 5 in the last shootout.
Yep, we'll see. Hopefully he can get the job done. It's a big day here for Sergio Perez. It's a big day for everyone because it's a Grand Prix weekend. Currently, George Russell has set the fastest time, a 9.683. Bottas 1.3 seconds behind. Still got the lap done. That could be crucial for later on. Lando Norris going purple in the first sector. Charles Leclerc going pretty quick as well. Gasly splits the 2 and goes and sets a lap time 1/10 behind. Another purple sector here for Lando Norris. No one else can beat him right now. Now
I was just looking at the weather reports because it is more cloudy than it was before in the practice session. The driver saying it picked up more wind compared to a few hours ago. But I could assure you, as long as my weather report is correct, we won't see any rain today. Just a bit of wind, but currently 70% chance of especially thunderstorm tomorrow and on Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely mental. I hope we don't get a red flags race and we don't end up racing. I hope we do actually get some racing. That'd be great. But it's going to be a pretty crazy one for sure. Who will come out on top in wet conditions? That would change the mix completely. The experience will come out on top. Will Colapinto and Lawson be able to get in on the action and have an advantage? Of course, Behrman as well. I don't quite know. I think it is confirmed that Behrman will be doing this entire weekend. That is a big old situation that the Mercedes has got there, rocking about as they go over the curbs. Lewis Hamilton is going to be completing their lap very, very shortly. Perez and Verstappen have started their first laps, looking to try and get something done. 5 minutes on the clock, not long at all. Here comes Hamilton across the line, and it's going to be a P7 at the moment, only ahead of Bottas. That is not what they want to be doing. A 1.1, so, you know, they're still a way ahead of Bottas, but that's really not ideal. Verstappen going fastest once again in the first sector. This Red Bull just seems to come alive now as everybody has got basically no time to prepare for this qualifying session. Verstappen is coming alive, and I want to say it's all Verstappen, but Perez obviously did just do a great job, and he is now improving again. It all matters when we cross the line, though. See how that goes. Purple first sector, not in the middle sector, however, and they are about 3-4 tenths behind on the current pole time.
Watching if the track is going fast and getting fast over the time, while being on the medium tire and switching to the soft tire in the last sprint shootout, do you reckon we could see a driver getting in the 107 today?
I think maybe tomorrow. I mean, actually no, because it could be raining tomorrow. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the soft tire is going to be capable of. So I'm going to say I hope so. A 107 would be crazy, and it would maybe see the F1 game be a bit more realistic towards real life. But currently the F1 game's doing low 107s to 106s, so that will be, yeah, a difficult lap to do in a modern day Formula 1 car, but we'll see. I think a 107 could be very, very possible. That is Albon crossing the line, P8 for them. Colapinto will be crossing the line shortly. In the meantime, Verstappen did set, of course, that P2 lap, 4 tenths behind. Would they be going again? I'm not entirely sure. They might just go for a cool-down lap, but Sergio Perez is not in a good position right here. We've had Hulkenberg, Behrman, Lawson not set lap times, so they're waiting for the later stages, and they're going to be going again. And they're going to be pretty dangerous. I think they're on slightly older tyres, though, at the moment it says, but they might put some fresh tyres on if they have that available, as that was Williams going over the curves a little bit harder than we maybe would have liked. Colapinto P11 at 1.2 seconds, just behind Lewis Hamilton, but there's still a hell of a gap. It's actually almost 2 tenths behind Albon was Sergio Perez, and 2 tenths behind Sergio Perez was Lewis Hamilton. So the gaps further down the order are a little bit bigger than the ones kind of towards the middle, but then up the front, once again, Lando Norris has just absolutely smashed it. 2 minutes on the clock, not long to go at all, and many cars are coming up for their final runs. Hulkenberg, Behrman will lead the charge. I say that. Albon and Colapinto, I believe, are going for a cool-down lap and starting one again. So this is going to be it for Williams, as they will continue and start their final lap. Both of them consecutively will do so as well. Hopefully for their sake they don't have any traffic. I say that Albon's actually gone into the pit lane, so maybe I've got that completely wrong. Would they try and do a fast pit stop and then come back out again immediately? I don't quite know. And Colapinto will also go into the pit lane, so it is going to be Hulkenberg, Behrman to set their first laps in the session. Lawson will follow on just after Russell, who are going between those guys. Those are all the cars that haven't set lap times, except from Russell, of course, who is currently P5. But other than that, everybody's just got to go for this final run, because it's not going to be easy at all, especially for Lewis Hamilton, who loves this circuit, and they really want to get a good result, but being this far back, it's not going to work. As here goes the first of the final laps. Hulkenberg heads into the first corner, and we've got Behrman also heading into the first corner now. We'll watch the sector times and see what they can do. We'll head towards turn 4 for the first sector and see what's it going to be. Is it going to be green? That's what you're looking for. It is going to be green, well, obviously for both Haas's, because they haven't set lap times. We're going to have to look at Russell to see a really good comparison from their previous 18.1 there for Hulkenberg. Looking at George Russell's first sector, an 18.0. So that Mercedes is still quicker right now, and George Russell is just improving. So that's what he needs to do. Really just needs to keep improving a little bit more. 6/10 behind. If they can get just slightly closer to Norris, then they should be good. Norris, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, all confident that they can stay in this session with the lap times they've done. They are not going to be going again. 40 seconds on the clock, 30 seconds almost on the clock, and Leclerc is going to be starting their final run. Bottas is going to be also coming across the line to start their final run, but Hulkenberg, this is it. This is the moment of truth. Where will they end up? That's going to be a P9 for them at the moment. Behrman is going to knock them down. P5. Hulkenberg is already in the elimination zone. George Russell is not going to be able to improve. They stay where they are. Liam Lawson is looking to knock out Nico Hulkenberg, the full-time Haas driver, and it's going to be possibly two of the rookies. It will be Liam Lawson to P9. Hulkenberg is out of qualifying. Sergio Perez is out of qualifying. Lewis Hamilton is going to be trying to push for the final moment. Gasly is done. That is Colapinto out as well. Bottas is not improving. Lewis Hamilton is improving. That is the man to watch. Will it work out for them? Oscar Piastri doesn't need to cross the line. They go purple in the middle sector and they still complete the lap, interestingly, up to P2 there for them. Leclerc will also be coming across the line. Will they set the lap though? They will set the lap as well, and that is a P3. A brilliant job there. Very, very close to Lando Norris. They've brought it up together. That's going to be Bottas crossing the line, but it's not going to be enough. Lewis Hamilton, he's got to try and get himself here. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. And Alex Albon knocks out Lewis Hamilton in sprint qualifying. Wow. Absolutely incredible. I thought we'd have a shock, but I didn't think it would be Hamilton out.
Yeah, definitely quite some surprises. Especially Hamilton being out now. Hulkenberg been beaten by Behrman quite heavily. Paris again out in the second shootout, not getting to the last one. But I would say today it wasn't his fault. He was released by his team too late and hadn't had a chance to say the last lap. So today I would say it was the fault of the team, but really unlucky for him that the first try he had didn't work out for him. Being just 2/10 down, he probably would have gotten the time in the car if he had the chance to do.
Yeah, that is a shame. But it is what it is. Everybody's got to work as a team, and the team didn't operate, so unfortunately they will be out. A brilliant job from Pierre Gasly yet again up in Q3. Awesome job for them. Then we got Behrman doing a phenomenal job, Lawson as well, and Alex Albon getting that Williams into Q3. Lewis Hamilton is knocked out, so is Nico Hulkenberg, Perez, Colapinto and Bottas. I don't think Bottas should be disappointed. Obviously they want to be further up the order, but they've got themselves in to Q2. Obviously this one is a sprint, but it's still Q2 in multiple weekends in a row now. They've done a phenomenal job to do that. Colapinto is going to be disappointed. It's a difficult circuit, however, so I don't think they should be too disappointed. I don't believe they would have raced here at all at any point. Perez and Hamilton, however, Hulkenberg as well, not going to be happy with the situation they're in. As the Mercedes team have now only got one car into qualifying for the final session. So have Red Bull, so have Haas, so have Williams. So they all get a little bit of pain, a bit of hits to the chest. I was going to say kink in the armour, but that's not the right phrase to use. I'm just all over the place. We're just going to completely past anything that I've said. Once again, another mistake there, another bit of an issue with the car for Lewis Hamilton at turn 9, and that just ended it all for them. They, that's the reason why they're out. Last time they were lucky to stay in P13, this time P11, and it's not going to be enough. By a tenth as well from Alex Albon. So, you know, it doesn't seem that much, but a tenth in this grid is actually a fairly big gap that you can't afford to be losing That is a big weather change. I don't think we're going to get any rain, but the track temperature is definitely a lot colder. Well, it should be colder. Or that being said, it is 37 degrees. It's Brazil. It's going to be very boiling regardless of the actual weather. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be quite a difficult one. Very, very humid in that car. It's going to be tough. Lewis Hamilton doesn't seem to want to get out. He's not believing that he's been knocked out of qualifying already. But unfortunately, you have, and you are going to have to get out. Oh well, it happens. And pushing on for tomorrow, he's also going to be able to drive Senna's car. I once again didn't get to check when that will be, but I will try and get that double checked for tomorrow, ready for tomorrow's stream. If he hasn't already done it by then, of course. Lando Norris looking to try and smash another sprint quali around here in Brazil. So far, so good for the Brit, as they've topped the times in both sessions. The second session not by such a big margin, and they've got their teammate right behind them to follow on. Just waiting for the clock to start as we get to the final moments of qualifying. It's only going to be 8 minutes this time, instead of 12 or 10. 8 minutes. 10 minutes for Q3 in a normal Grand Prix format, and that's what we'll get for qualifying tomorrow. But only 8 minutes here in sprint qualifying. It's going to be a mad dash to the line to get your laps in. We're going to get 1 or 2 laps per car. They're all going to be on the soft tyres. It's going to be quicker than ever. They're all locked in. They're ready to go. Just waiting for that clock to strike. And we will be going once again. Tom, I ask you for one more time. Who's going to take pole position? I kind of want to say Max Verstappen because he's been going so well. But I think we just have to stick with Lando Norris.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing how fast he was in the first 2 qualifying sessions, there's no way that Norris won't get it. So I say Norris gets pole, and then it's going to be a toss-up between Piastri, Verstappen, and both the Ferraris. And I call Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't think that's a bad chat at all. Will Piastri be able to try and defy the odds according to Tom and get himself up? We'll find out very, very shortly. Come on, let's get that clock started. Let's get going. Let's get going for the final stages of the qualifying session. It's not long until we will be once again green flagged out on track, as we have got the 2 McLarens at the end of the pit lane ready to go. And there's the green flag. We will be going qualifying once again, and for the final time here in Interlagos on Friday at least. Now, it is going to be Piastri starting first. Then it will be Lando Norris, who has only just left the pit lane. He's getting that nice big gap to his teammate while he can. And they're going for that clean air. This is really going to be crucial here, I think. That traffic, the very close track, is very difficult to manage. And by going this early on, I think that is the best shout, especially if somebody goes a little bit too hard and causes an incident. Then this will be their best chance of getting a decent qualifying position, just in case there was a red flag. So McLaren are going for the safer option right here. No one else out just yet, but Alex Albon has changed that now and made it out on made their way out onto track. So yeah, it's all a little bit difficult, but still a lot of cars just letting the timer go down, and it looks like either Ferrari with Charles Leclerc having an issue, or they're waiting. They are waiting to go for that final run. They're going for one run at the very end of the session, which is going to be brutal. It says that Piastri's on a set of scrub medium tyres, which doesn't really make sense to me. I don't think that's the case. As they start qualifying, I'm going to try and double check. They are on a set of mediums, it says. If we can actually get to see, I think they are, which would be incredibly confusing, unless it is another bug as we had last week.
It's a soft tire. Looking
There you
closely
go.
onto
Yeah.
the TV footage, you clearly see the red circle. So he's definitely on the soft tire. With the other teams, I expect them maybe trying to have enough time for doing 2 runs. So trying 1 run, and if you're making a mistake or going over the track limits, to brake, to stop the lap, maybe doing one cooldown lap and then going for last shot. Because if you just do one lap, it's just so easy to be off track. As Piastri maybe was now, so with no lap time at all, it just would be a stupid mistake, especially for a top team who will fight for the constructors.
Yeah, that's not an ideal situation there for Piastri. Hopefully he's all good to go, but we'll get that confirmation in a second whether their lap time is deleted. Norris goes and beats it immediately by 0.3 of a second. So, yeah, it's a pretty good effort there from Lando Norris. You've got Alex Albon going green in the first sector. I don't think they'll be beating the McLarens, but according to what we just saw in SQ3, they might be able to get close to at least one of the McLarens here. I should say SQ2 that we just saw, not SQ3, because this is SQ3. 4 minutes on the clock, almost 4.5 minutes on the clock. Those cars are still waiting to go out of the pit lane. Not quite going yet. Oscar Piastri currently seems okay to keep that lap time. We'll keep you updated if anything changes, but right now Oscar Piastri is good to go. Alex Albon, that is going to be the P3, and it is going to be a 10.078. So, 0.8 behind Oscar Piastri, 1.1 seconds behind Lando Norris. Are these guys going to be doing that slow lap? I think they must be. They must be doing a cool-down lap. We'll find out, though, as Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are coming towards the end of the cool-down lap. Whether they'll go again or again another cooldown lap, or just go straight into the pit lane, we'll find out.
Yeah, Piastri having a few mistakes in his lap, small mistake in the DNS, and then I think it's the last turn, making them lose probably about 2/10. So there's a bit of potential for him to get closer to his teammate. But I wonder that the gap between the soft and the medium tire is so close. Like, I predicted it in the practice session, but I didn't expect it to be so close during the sprint qualifying.
Yeah, it is very close indeed. I did notice that when you said it. It's impressive stuff. We have got both McLarens going into the pit lane and coming back out immediately. So they are going very aggressive. Although it looks like they're going tentative, they've actually gone very aggressive to go again. And they're going to prepare themselves to go for one final run. And we'll see. Alex Albon into the pit lane. That is probably going to be their qualifying over unless they go for a quick stop. And then go out immediately again. We'll find out. We've got Gasly, we've got Behrman, we've got Lawson, who are going to be starting their final laps of the session. 2 minutes on the clock. Is Alex Albon coming straight through the pit lane, or is that their session done? It looks like it might be, but they still have time to come out again. Oliver Behrman leading their way into the first, second and third corner. They've gone over track limits in my opinion. I think they could be unsafe with that lap. They might have to back off on this one and then go again, but I assume their team are probably going to tell them to continue. They have missed the inside apex of turn 4, but they still carry the speed up quite nicely, and they move to the left hand side and go into the second sector. Will there be confirmation on whatever happens to their lap time? I don't quite know. Hopefully they don't find out too late, but it does feel like they might find out a little bit too late, as we are going to get Oscar Piastri starting their final lap. Gasly will be coming across the line as well. Sector line green as expected, with no lap time currently set, but not purple, so that's going to be an interesting one. What will Gasly be able to do with a brilliant session so far, and what will Behrman be able to do, even if they might be at risk of getting that invalidation? Gasly ahead of Alex Albon, Behrman crosses the line, and it's going to be a P4 with a purple final sector. That is an absolutely awesome final sector. Still 9 tenths off Lando Norris. Lando Norris starts their final lap, but Liam Lawson is coming across the line now.
Yeah, hopefully Behrman has enough time to do another lap, because I'm thinking, yeah, first his lap is deleted because of turn 2, and even if it wouldn't been deleted, he just lost so much time going out so wide and driving over the dirt. So as expected, he has to do another lap, which I think he won't have enough time to get in.
No, unfortunately, it's a little bit too late. It would have been probably best for the team to tell him earlier, but they didn't want to, I guess, just in case it was allowed. But it is what it is. Oscar Piastri goes purple in the middle sector and takes the fastest lap time away from their teammate. Is this going to be pole position, or will Lando Norris be able to find it in the later stages? They're not improving. Lando Norris might not be able to get this done. Max Verstappen is going fast in the first sector. Lando, 10 seconds up to the line. Would they try and get another lap in, or is it going to be too late? I think that's it. Oscar Piastri is going to beat their teammate in SQ3 for sprint pole. Is anyone else going to be able to compete? We've got Max Verstappen, who seems to be like the only one that could have a chance. George Russell is also improving, but Max Verstappen is going to cross the line, and what's it going to be for the Dutchman? It's going to be a P4, splitting the Ferraris. A brilliant job. We'll get George Russell to cross the line just to confirm. Will we see Oscar Piastri? We will. That's Russell P5. Oscar Piastri takes pole position in the sprint qualifying session. Absolutely incredible stuff. The two Ferraris go into the pit lane. That is going to be qualifying complete. Wow. I did not expect it. It was a small margin, though. It was a very small margin.
Yeah, indeed, really close. Didn't expect Piastri to get such a good lap, or Norris to not really improve from his medium time. But it's really great for Piastri, showing he had the pace, especially after the last 2 weekends, I think, struggling a bit with his qualifying. And we can definitely expect something of a drama at the starts tomorrow, with Piastri and Norris starting in the front line and Verstappen starting directly behind Norris. There might be some trouble with going into the first turn. Hopefully not, but I wouldn't be surprised if something would happen.
Indeed. Indeed, that's the session done. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Tom. And we will see you tomorrow for the qualifying session. Hope it all goes well in the race for everyone. Thank you very much again, and bye-bye.